That particular person was very insistent. Swamiji, please give the reply. He listened to him for about half an hour. The same question was repeated. When you were a boy of 16 years, when you were an SSLC student in Madurai, you left that town, you came to Tiruvannamalai. From the age of 16 till now, what are you doing? This was the question. At the age of 16, you started from Madurai. And you came here. And you got the fulfillment maybe. I do not know. What is further to be done? Sri Ramana, after repeated questioning, answered very silently, what I held that day, I continue to hold on even today. If I forget to hold, it may slip. If you go to Lord Shiva's temple, traditionally our people say, don't go in between Nandi and Shiva. Nandi is Jiva. Shiva is Shiva. This Jiva and Shiva will be looking at each other. Identification with one another. And what is the duty of Nandi? Only to be looking at Shiva. Soham. Shivoham. And that Shivoham is possible when we are Dasoham. Now, this state of eternity is very much possible when you hold on to that divinity Ramana has been holding on. And that is Sat Chit Ananda. Indian culture is rich. It is scientific. It is at once scientific and spiritual. Example, when we perform the samskaras, one of the most important samskaras is Namakarana Samskara in India. In that Namakarana Samskara, it is called Vyavaharika Namakarana Samskara. This body has come in a particular form. This body requires to be referred to with a particular name. When the man dies, again it is different. During his journey or the person's journey, Jiva's journey from birth to death, some name is to be attributed, and Vyavaharika Namakarana Samskara it is called. It is not the permanent name. That rich culture, when the sun rises, we see it is relative reality. The sun goes to the top. He is at the peak. Relative reality, I am able to see it. I cannot negate it. It's not false. It is perceptible. It is tangible. It is seen. And the sun sets. But is it absolutely true? The relative reality and the absolute reality are different when I change the standpoint. As long as I am on the earth, I find the sunrise, sunset, peak, etc. When I raise above the earth, when I go to a particular height, I find the sun not to be rising, not to be setting, to be eternal. So all our sadhana is to change our standpoint. Then we will not slip the object. We will not lose sight of it. And that state of remaining in eternity is Satchidananda state, remaining in absolute reality state. Sri Ramakrishna simplifies Adi Shankara's wonderful that example of Rajasarpa Bhranti. There is a rich man. That rich man has gold bars. Gold bars are kept in the Godrej Almirah. He goes to his bedroom, bolts the door from within, and he takes the keys of that gold bars, Almirah, keeps them under his pillow, sleeps. Because he is constantly thinking of the gold bars, he is a little scared, he slips into sleep, and in the sleep he gets a dream. In the dream, there is a thief with black clothes, black goggles. He comes with a dagger, demands the keys, and in the dream, the man gives the keys to the thief. The thief opens the Godrej Almirah, takes the gold bars, and he is returning. While going back, he asks the rich man, "If you shout, I will stab you to death." Unable to part with the gold, the man in the sleep shouted. The thief in the sleep stabbed him. The shock was unbearable. He woke up. It was true, there was no thief when the man was awake. It was true, there was no thief when the man was sleeping. It was true, there was no thief when the man was dreaming. It was true when there was no thief when he woke up. When did the thief come? When I slept. When did he threaten me? When I was asleep. Now, Sri Ramana says, don't slip into the sleep. You be always wakeful. You please be always aware. Please be always conscious. Of what? Aware of, wakeful of, conscious of the eternal reality that the thief is never present. Sat, truth, is there is no thief. I lost that truthfulness for some time and I lost my happiness. I was afraid. I was frightened. I was in dismay. All these things came because I have lost it. And Sri Ramakrishna therefore says, truth is constant. And when we are aware of the truth, it is Sat, Chit. Chit is awareness. When you are aware of the truth, what is it that I have? Ananda. Thieflessness is blissfulness. Ignorancelessness is enlightenment. And when we are aware of the eternity, we are always blissful. Let us continue to remain in that state of Sat Chit Ananda, which is the real state. It can be theoretically perceived, practically enjoyed. Many people in India are very great scholars, theoretical. 2 people have gone to, are speaking about America. One has gone, seen every street, known every house. The other person has studied the books. All about America, every street. When a question is raised in that particular street, what is the person who is living next to Mr. Peters? I don't know. The man who lived. Sri Ramakrishna lives Vedanta. Sri Ramana lives Vedanta. And great spiritual giants like our Swamiji, they live Vedanta. Theoretical knowledge has to be replaced by practical experience. Otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna's example, a great Pandit is like an eagle flying high, soaring high in the skies of philosophy, with his eyes always on the road for the carrion, flesh, money, profit, pleasure, praise, etc. Ramana Maharshi never sought anything. Nor did Ramakrishna seek anything. They live in that state of eternity. We are all, by the grace of God Almighty, Indians are very good in theory. What the great Shankara speaks, our street beggars speak. Jagame Maya. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. The people say, even the cinema actor Kamala Hassan says it. Everybody says it. Speaking is very simple. Theoretical exposition is simpler, but practical experience is to be enjoyed, and that's why even today we extol Sri Ramana, Sri Ramakrishna. In the line of such people, here is our Swami. He has been experiencing, he is established in it, and Sri Ramakrishna says, those people who have experienced that transcendental bliss at the edge of that ocean of Ananda, they restrain themselves. There such a great blissful ocean is present. If I immerse myself in it, how about the people staying behind? They must be informed of the awareness. They must be informed of this great ocean, and therefore they control themselves. My friends, come. Here is the treasure. Here is the blissful ocean. Here is a messenger from the Almighty showing us the great treasure house of spiritual bliss. In the footprints of Sri Ramana and Sri Ramakrishna, we have the great stalwart spiritual giants here. We are all very, very happy to be blessed by them, to be living in their timings, and we are to learn a lot from them and elevate ourselves to the eternal heights. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. God bless you. May all of us merge with that Sat Chit Ananda. Thank you.
You see, Guruji has asked whether any of you are prepared to go and dedicate your life for realizing this Satchidananda. And Subramanya Maharaj also has explained the goal of human beings. You are all young people, many of you. That's what I told you. I am very happy that many of you are young. Generally, to my classes, people after 50 come. They are about to die. So they think it is better we try here and see. Now anyway, I told you the last method, where you will always aware of Satchidananda. Because it is everywhere there. It is associated with every body in every thing you see, every object you see. There is a Kenopanishad sloka. It says that Brahman can be realized in and through each and every thought and action. And I explained to you how it can be done. If you remember that, well, it's very easy to be always be aware of awareness. Okay? And here is a nice example. You see this young man is Michael Dodds. He has come from Australia last year. He accidentally visited our ashram because somebody told him about this. He wanted to stay for 3 days. And he extended it for 3 weeks and 3 months. And then said, Swamiji, I am going to join these courses. We got 4 courses. Parichaya, Pravina, Siddha. It will take, the course is such that the duration is not fixed. Achievement is fixed. The achievements are only simple. We want a steady body, still breath, still mind. If you achieve them, well, the only thing is you direct that particular mind. Now these things are under your control, your body, your mind, and your breath. Now you are ready for going for the final act. As Bhagavan Krishna says in 6th chapter, Atma samstam mana krutva nakinchidati chindriyasi. Don't think of anything else. Put your mind in the Atma. See that? And the 8th chapter is saying, Bhomityag aksharam brahma vyaharan ma manusmaran. I am repeating it, think of me. Who is saying it? Krishna Bhagavan is saying. And who is Krishna? He is himself saying who he is. In 10th chapter, beginning, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Sestita. I am the Atma Swarupa. I am residing in all the people as Atma Swarupa. So this is it. And you know what Atma means. What is Atma? Atma is, what is Atma? Sat, Chit and Ananda are the characteristics. And only the infinite we call Paramatma, and if you limit it to a particular body, Upadhi, you call it Jivatma. But both mean the same. This is Satchidananda, that is Satchidananda. I gave you the example of the wave and the ocean. What is a wave? It is salt water. And what is the ocean? It is also salt water. And the wave appears as if it is something different. Actually it is not different. It can never exist apart from and independent of the ocean. And yet it appears, and you call it tsunami, cyclone, this and that. But if you go in and see what it is only Satchidananda. So that is the message, and our chief guests have explained eloquently what it is, and he is the practical example. He lives in a affluent country. Western countries are well off physically and materially. And such a thing he puts aside and comes in search of Atma Paramatma. Searches for 2 years, visits so many ashrams and all that. Finally, when it comes to Ramana and his teachings, he finds that, well, this is the final thing. And he said, Swamiji, I'll join all the 4 courses. I will come for 5 years, taking the visa, student visa. Well, we wrote him, we gave him a letter that we will admit him because he has stayed here and could acclimatize himself with this way of life. Now what we do here is the practical way of life in the ashram. You have to get up, all of them, whoever stays there, and 3 a.m. and to 6, and then again 6 to 9, and again in the afternoon. 9 hours they have to practice these things which they have learned. And the bhojan is no tiffin, no dosa, idli and all that. Only germinated seeds and such other things are given. And only twice. We have combined the breakfast and lunch to brunch. And at about 10 or 10:30 they give it. And again in the evening, in between there will be a satsang also. And at the end there is a review. Just like what we have done here. And such a hard and rigorous life. People come, they run away in 2 or 3 days. We don't allow actually anybody, but if guests come and stay for 1 or 2 days, even Swamijis won't stay in our ashram for more than 1 or 2 days. Because without idli and coffee, some road ridiculous. In such a situation, he comes all the way. He is only 28 now. He was wondering if he is 26. He means searching for something. He is not satisfied with the life he has got around him. And now he is ready to stay for 5 years and not for getting a degree. Like you are all PhD. You want PhD, you want, as Guruji has pointed out, well, you get a job, you get something, this and that. But he is not for that. He wants such an interview with Brahman, that's all. Satchidananda. So that should be, he is a perfect example for young people, I think. That is, people say about Atma, Paramatma and all that, but nobody believes it. If really Atma is so great, that 108 Upanishads are speaking about it, and all people are talking about the greatness of that, you should have the thing that you should go after it even. If there is gold and diamonds in a particular room, and in the neighboring room a thief is sleeping, will he sleep? His mind is always on the gold, how to get hold of it and so on. So also, such a glorious thing, which is responsible for billions of stars and galaxies. You have seen, I have described what the universe is. And some of the stars are so big, it seems there is Epsilon Aurigae, the biggest star in the Milky Way galaxy, which can accommodate 27 billion suns, solar systems. And such stars are in millions. And if you take the total universe, billions of them, unimaginable. And all these things are just a play for this Satchidananda Parabrahman. How great it is. And how wonderful it would be for going and being in company of that particular thing. So nothing comparable to that. To be in the company of Satchidananda always. And yet, people go and ask. They go to Lord Venkateswara and say, I want a plot or a flat. What plot or flat? He is ready to give you a galaxy, a solar system. And why don't you ask for that? No. Because you live like frogs in the well. You always live in a limited area and you never think of this wonderful universe. That is the playground of Satchidananda Paramatma. So, we are very happy that you all come and you are the future citizens of the world, and you should all like to realize this Satchidananda Parabrahman as early as possible. And if you adopt that lost method I have told you, always you will be in the company of Satchidananda. Hari Om.
I thank the guests, Dr. Professor Subramaniam ji, as well Guruji of the campus, and I immensely thank Swamiji. We cannot thank Swamiji, we can just ask blessings from him. And shortly we will organize one more camp like this. So it will be announced in Yoga Sudha, which is monthly magazine. So all the updates will be in that Yoga Sudha journal. So please refer for any updates of the campus. and SVSR related programs. So we'll end up with Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaः